Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. I have some unicorn accoutrement here behind me that my assistant producer left behind her before she was ushered out of the place here. But unicorns didn't happen today in Molyneux because Aston Villa won. Wolves won was the final score, and you know what? It was a game whereby, look, I think there was a definite game plan on the Wolves side of the ball. Um, I personally came away from that game and fully okay if people want to disagree with me. I don't think that we were poor in that game. I think we were measured. I think Wolves were playing in a very very tight situation for themselves, or the setup very very tight in midfield and at the back. And I think a lot of their tactic to start off that game, specifically in the first 20 minutes, was to show just aggression. And I think Aston Villa dealt with it pretty okay. We'll get on and we suppose we'll talk about their goal and our goal in a minute, Paddy. But what was your overall view in the game before we start to dissect one or two little pieces of it?
Yeah, I'm disappointed with Wolves after going and beating Man City last week. They came out and played anti-football today. You know, I just don't know what they were at. Every time there was a corner, they were pulling and dragging and trying to get the referee's attention. Just anti-football to try and detract from what we were doing from set pieces. Every time we got a set piece, the referee had to stop, talk to somebody. Wanky Chan lying on the fucking ground. Like, that 12 minutes injury time is for him lying on the ground. It's just, like, he's an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment. So, I agree with you. It wasn't a bad performance, but they stuck to their game plan. They got a goal on the break, and their game plan worked to a certain extent. But thankfully, we got a goal and come out of there with a point, because on another day we wouldn't have come out with anything. So I am disappointed. The performance could have been better, but it wasn't as bad as I've seen some people say.
No, I don't think so either. I think it was. I think Wolves made that game very, very difficult to play in. We had the Lions' share of possession in the game. We had by far the most amount of chances. Maybe not the most. I'd imagine we had the most shots on target. I'm actually just bringing it up here. And to be honest with you, I thought it was just a difficult game to play. I thought the referee made it very difficult at times, as you said there, specifically from set pieces. But like we were missing that we were missing killer instinct, and that's okay to say. But just because we're missing a killer instinct doesn't mean we played poorly. I thought our formation was right. I thought the way I thought maybe we were a small bit ponderous in the ball in midfield. I thought they went out with Lamina to try and give Douglas Luiz just that bit of space where he might try and open up, and then close him down straight away. So they had their homework done on Douglas Luiz, I think for sure. And but I like, as the game went on, we were the better team. I think throughout the whole game we were the better team. But as I say, we were missing a little bit of killer instinct up top. I think Diaby probably wasn't right, and obviously hindsight is 2020. He was fine, but that's about what he was. Actually, to be honest with you, he was a bit quiet. But look, he's coming off a back injury, so maybe in hindsight, the decision to start him mightn't have been the right one. But yeah, like as I say, I'm not spitting feathers over that game or anything. Their goal, I think, was there was a lot of elements of fortune, and a lot of people that I see online were panning Pau Torres for that goal. I genuinely don't understand what people expect from him there. One of the fastest players in the Premier League, running against him. There isn't a centre half in the Premier League that's able to stay up with him, and Pau Torres did. And to be honest with you, it was the flick off Dina's heel that put it right into Chan's path. That's what it was. It was the flick from his heel, put it into his pad. If that flick doesn't happen, that ball goes past Chan's foot. And and look, them's the breaks. And I know that the reason that he got to the position to cross the ball was because he skinned Pau Torres on the outside. But Pau Torres wasn't a million miles away from him either. And let's be honest with you, some players are faster than others. It's not rocket science to know that there are some players that are faster than others, and not every player is as fast as Pedro Neto. That's for sure. That's why Pedro Neto is linked with Arsenal. He's linked with Liverpool. He's been linked with ourselves in recent months, is because he's a ball carrier, and that's his job, is to be really, really fast. And he was the route today.
For those that watched last week, Nathan Aki struggled with him big time as well, who's a fairly quick player as well. So I've no problem with that at all. It is what it is. We were caught in the break kudos to Luca Dean. I thought he bust a gut to get back into that position because both fullbacks were very high up the pitch when that ball broke, and he managed to get back into that position. So fair play to him. Unfortunately, he hit us, and that ultimately is the cause of the goal.
Yeah, and then our goal as well. Pau Torres comes up and has a beautiful finish in the box. 2 minutes later. Like what that and that was a well worked goal. Ollie Watkins with a great chip to the back post, and Pau Torres for a defender absolutely slots it into the back of the net. No, it was a great finish. And we're back on terms. And we can talk about that opportunity that Neto put over the bar. How close was Martinez to him? I think Martinez saves that if it's anywhere near the target as well. But once again, he puts it over the bar. That was they're their only two massive chances in the game. Whereas we came down the stretch, we had huge chances. Zaniolo's one that just went wide. Watkins hitting the butt of the post at the very dead with the last minute header. Konza having Jose Sa made a beautiful save from him there as well. We were the better team today. I like and we drew 1-1 against the team away from home. And as I say, we said before the game that we were going to look at things objectively and we're going to look at things rationally and not get too low in the lows like we have in previous post-match. And realistically speaking, we were the better team out there today. So a lot of people thinking we played poorly. We were still the better of two teams. And I don't even think we played that poorly. I just think it was a difficult game to play in.
It was a difficult game to play in, and they were, as I said, they were set out not to drop any points today. That's exactly they didn't go to win the game, albeit they did go ahead against the run of play. I thought, I'm sure we'll get to it in a minute, but like anybody that's ever kicked the ball at any level of the game will tell you that if you're kicking the ball and the fella pushes you in the back and puts you off balance, it's a penalty. So for the three absolute gobshites that don't think that that's a penalty, I'm sorry. I haven't even got the energy to go in on them today because it's just, I find it totally and utterly embarrassing that these guys, they obviously never kicked the ball in their life. If you're standing on 1 foot with 1 foot swinging and a fella pushes you in the back, that's a foul. Anywhere on the pitch, it's a fucking foul. But these cowards are at nothing. They're absolutely at nothing, and the time has come to shut them all off. They're all bloody useless. They're more concerned about their haircuts than they are about being on the pitch. How much time did we spend looking at that referee's face in this game today? It was actually pathetic. It was pathetic, and that's a lot more to be said about Wolves than to be said about the referee, because they just played anti-football, killed the game at every opportunity, tried to kill our momentum. And yeah, I thought it was a penalty. I don't think anybody would ever convince me otherwise. A push in the back is a push in the back, no matter where it is on the pitch. It was obvious, it was blatant that it was an error made. It should have been given.
I think so too, and I don't see the equivalence to the Boubacar Kamara challenge on Neto at the other end. I genuinely don't see. They're both two completely different challenges. Boubacar Kamara doesn't push him; he gets his body in the way. And Matt Doherty actually just puts his hand out from about 4 yards behind. We're watching Matt Doherty play for Ireland, and he does that all the time. He just literally grabs at players as they go past him the whole time. I've seen it 30 times in 30 times in 30 different internationals that he's played in for Ireland. But like that to me is a penalty. But then once again, like as I say, it didn't come. It didn't come, and we had other chances to score, and we probably should have scored at the death there, as I say, for Jose Sa making that brilliant save. Two brilliant saves, I would say. What was the other one? Oh, two brilliant saves from Ollie Watkins. The brilliant save in the first half from Ollie Watkins, where he got on the end of a ball. It was brilliant effort from him, and Jose Sa got his hand to the ball, if I'm not mistaken, went out for a corner, tipped it over the bar, and then that save from Konza, I think, was really top class from Sa. You can say it was straight at him, but a lot of goalkeepers need to move your legs to get down to that ball, especially when it's at that near post, and he did, and he got down to it really well and made a really, really good save.
Well, that's four chances now. If you take into consideration the Zaniolo one as well that went across the goal, four chances that we had that could have won us the game. It's a pity. On another day, they all go in. Last week, they all went in. But look, it's something we're going to have to draw a line under, but it's bitterly disappointed that we left that one behind us, especially going into the international break. And it looked like a lot of tired legs out there. I hope that we see Instagram stories of fellas sitting on the beach in Spain and Dubai or wherever they want to go this week. Just get those lads away from the football pitch, let them recharge their batteries, and back into work at the end of this week, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. Also, just in the game today, you know, as I say, it was a real hostile atmosphere in Malmo. They've one song, by the way, Wolves fans. Wolves fans have one song. That's all they have. There's one song. It's Shit in the Villa. It's literally all they have. But still, it was a hostile atmosphere. I'm beginning to see that with teams recently. And the reason I'm bringing it up is I love to see it at Villa Park. Like you watch Newcastle against Paris Saint-Germain during the week. That was raucous. It was hostile. It was difficult to play in. The players were pumping up the crowd the whole time. Probably too much at times. I thought it was a little over the top, like some of the players the way that they were going to the fans. But that's all right. Like as I said, they got the result out of it. I thought the Wolves crowd today for definitely much of the first half were baying for blood, and there was a tension that came from the way the crowd were so raucous at times in the first half. But then it obviously petered out, and you know, as I said, their one song then came throughout the whole lot of the rest of the game. But I suppose like yeah. Today was a game whereby I suppose, look, our away form hasn't exactly been immaculate this season. It hasn't been immaculate towards the end of last season. It's been good, like, don't get me wrong. It's not like and a draw is still a good result today. You know, you keep your non-losing streak going in the Premier League. But if we can get even 10% more from the away games, like we seem to be able to do it in home games, and kind of, you know, lean in towards that to the form that we show at home, away from home. Like, we still have a very, very good points total so far this season. You know, we said it before, and you get 3 points today, and you're absolutely on the pig's back going into the international game. We haven't lost. We got a point. What did it finish between Newcastle and or in the other games? Were there 2 draws? Newcastle West Ham was a draw. Brighton Liverpool was a draw. We've lost no ground on teams around us. By drawing, it would have been brilliant, and that's the only real disappointment that I have from today is not in any one of the players. It's the fact that yes, we had an opportunity to leapfrog some of those teams as we go into the international break, and it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be.
If we'd have won today and Man City won, we're sitting in third place. That's the difference between winning and losing today, and it feels like it's 2 points dropped as opposed to 1 point gained. Just that's just a gut feeling as opposed to any facts or figures. Just as I said, the anti-football absolutely killed me today. I just don't get why you would set out your team that way in a game, which obviously means a lot to their fans more than it does to us. But one of the comments there, I've lost it, but you're wrong. They actually have 2 songs. The other song is Shit on the Albion.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. So it's insert team here. As well. But yeah, it's look, as I say, it's not ideal. And look, we're not sitting here trying to be overly positive either. I genuinely believe everything I've said today is something I genuinely believe. It is disappointing that we didn't get the win today, but it was a very, very difficult game of football to play. As I say, I think it was difficult to play. Like, the referee was erratic. He was erratic, but at the same time, like, I know we spoke about our penalty there. Like, the players didn't really know where they could stand with him at times during that game. You know, stopping at the corners, breaking the momentum, breaking the flow. You know, Dawson and McGinn had their scuffles there as well throughout the game. At the end of the game, and somebody keep me honest with this, I was just watching out of the corner of my eye. I don't know, was there a scuffle between the players at the end of the game? Because I saw the referee going in, what looked like he was going in to break something up, and I could be 100% wrong on this. And then the guys in the suits came on to take the referee and the linesman off. So I wasn't sure. It looked like all the players were congregated together, but I'm not sure if there was anything major in that. So if anybody in the comments can let us know, because I said to Paddy just before coming on, I was looking up at the TV going, I think there's a scrap, Paddy. I think there's a scrap after the game. But it was a kind of a game that could have boiled over. You know, John McGinn was playing the pantomime villain at the start in the first half as well. And, you know, as the game kind of drew on, As you said, Chan went down, holding his face, trying to eke out that time, and then he scores. Then 90 seconds later, and so there was a kind of
and celebrates by pulling the bandage out of his nose and throwing it on the ground. Like, embarrassing is not the word.
And there was an element of as I say, win at all costs in the game. And look, maybe Villa need to get that way too. Maybe Villa need to get that. Like, if we were playing a top 6 team and we go out and we rile them and rattle them like that. Now, saying that, if we're playing a top 6 team and Luca Dean has his hand out like Matt Doherty does, it's a penalty all day long. There's VAR screaming at the referee there to give a penalty for 100% certain. But maybe we need to be like that. Maybe we need to get a small bit more intimidating. Maybe we don't have the players to do that. I don't know, but maybe it's not Unai Emery's lexicon to be able to do that. But it's an interesting one. It's one I think that it's like, as I said, the atmosphere that was created by Wolves play on the field and the fans in the stand was a big part in this game. I think it was a huge part. That's why I keep going back to it. I think it was a huge part in this game.
Well, I think a huge part in this game was the Wolves' game plan, which was stop Villa at all costs and stop playing football at all costs and take the momentum out. Every time we got a bit of speed up, there was someone lying on the ground within a couple of minutes just to slow us down again. It's just one of those games where we'll just have to draw a line under it and get on with it. It's disappointing, but I suppose the silver lining in all this is we go into a 2-week break, 5th in the Premier League. We can't be caught there now this evening. There's only one game left, so we are where we need to be when these breaks come around. Pity we didn't get 3 points, but happy with the progress we've made. Happy with the start of the season. First draw. Not normal to sit here and talk about a draw with a Unai Emery team, but it's a first draw of the season. I don't remember another draw. Did we have another draw under Emery?
Oh, we sure have. We've that's our first draw this season anyway. But we definitely drew last season. I
don't know. I'm not sure. I don't remember one. Anyway, neither here nor there.
Yeah. I'm not even sure I remember what team started, Paddy. So when you're asking me if we've had another draw, yeah, it is what it is. Look, we could sit here and we could pull the fat off this one for ages, but I think realistically what it is was a frustrating point away from home, made difficult by the home team, made difficult by an erratic referee, made difficult by some. Look, we weren't perfect today. Absolutely, we weren't, and we're not sitting there saying that we were. There were a couple of players that were discombobulated by the flow of the game, the pattern of the game, and we need to be better in those situations. We absolutely do. But I certainly don't think it was a dire performance from Aston Villa today. I think you have to give Wolves credit for having a game plan, albeit as much now as we hated it. I think you have to give them credit for that, and Villa just have to be cuter in how they play against teams like that, because you think you're going to go to Alkmaar, you think the Legia Warsaw are going to come to Villa Park and start playing this beautiful, open, expensive football. They are in their hat. They're going to come and they're going to play. They're going to come and they're going to play that low block, and they're going to play a mid block, and then they're going to probably try and get as many players as they possibly can to sit on Douglas Luiz when we're in possession high up the field, if they can. And that's just the way we're going to do. So we're going to have to get cuter and cleverer about that. And we were cute and clever with the against Brighton as well with their high press, But we got to get cute and clever when teams are trying to maybe intimidate us in the middle of midfield. Newcastle did it as well and got great results out of it. So it's a learning process for this team, and we've never been perfect. We weren't perfect today, but we got a point out of it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any final thoughts, Paddy? The substitutions. Let's think. What were the substitutions again? There were Tielemans came on for Boubacar Kamara. Oh, wait a minute. Nothing's working here for me. Tielemans came on for Boubacar Kamara. Who else came on? There was Bailey came in. Zaniolo came in. Was that it? Was there any other substitutions there?
No,
I don't think any of the subs really affected the game as much as I would have thought. Obviously, Zaniolo's effort at the end that just scraped past the post. Apart from that, I don't think there was really, really much in it. But the game, as I say, was turgid at times. It was stodgy. It was stuck in the middle. And as I say, it was one that, I think a Jacob Ramsey would have made a big difference today. And I know you can say that in hindsight. I think
Yeah.
a Jacob Ramsey would have made a difference. I think a change of pace of maybe if Dini was to start being able to bring on a Moreno who could take the ball to the byline, and speed that play up.
Just have a different ball carrier in there would have made a difference, as you say, Ramsey or Moreno. But unfortunately, not available to us. And look, as we said, there's 2 weeks off now to get these players. Hopefully, Moreno's not too far away. Not that that's any slight on Luca Dini, who's had a decent start to the season, but just to be able to mix things up and do something different, like we did with Zaniolo coming in for Diaby, who had a virtually quiet game, really. And in fairness to Zaniolo, he's getting there. He's up. He's getting up to the pace of the game. So the break for him is probably coming at a wrong time. But look, at least he'll go away and get minutes under the belt at international level, hopefully.
Yeah, and just for Jimmy is saying, just to clarify what I said, not the rolling around part for me. I'm not saying Villa should imitate that. I'm saying Villa should imitate more of the intimidating aspect that Wolves kind of brought in the first half today.
There's two things I'd have done differently if I was the manager. I would have got someone to actually go in and give something Wanky Chan to fucking roll around the ground on for. I would have designated somebody to go and hit him. Somebody who doesn't normally pick up yellow cards. And if I was a Wolves player, I would not be happy with that performance today. I would, especially him. I've seen players in dressing rooms pin fellas to the wall for doing things that he did today. It's not acceptable in the game. No place for it. Unfortunately, that's the way the game has gone. But I refuse to believe that's Gary O'Neill's doing to do that. But I could be wrong too.
I don't know. I have no idea with regards to that. But look, we're not going to sit here. We're not going to labour it. I am going to let everybody get back to their Sunday. It's 4:30 here in Ireland, and the sun is still shining. So go out and get your vitamin D. We've 2 weeks.
And your Sunday is not over, Aston Villa wise, because
Aston Villa.
The women's team play Liverpool this evening at 6:45, which is on TV, and you can catch it on Sky Sports Premier League at 6:45.
Paddy, do you want to fill something there for a moment? Because I forgot to load up something that I wanted to play before we finised here.
Okay, you work away. And
read a couple of comments. Read a couple of comments there, because I think that let me.
Standing on the word says, what do you think about Bailey and Dean quarrelling over the corner? I was actually losing my shit at that point, and then what happened? He failed to beat the first man, which drove me over the edge altogether. 98 minutes on the clock, and you're fighting over who's taking the corner. Surely that's predetermined by Austin McPhee. YouTube user wants me to sing a song. Neil, no. Need way more drinks.
Singing days are over. You have to give him a long jacket and a microphone and about 14 pints of Peroni in the Aston Social, and then he'll sing "Don't Look Back in Anger" for you 5 times in a row if you want. I've been there and it has happened. I've been there and it has happened. You've got 9 more seconds to fill, Paddy. 9 more seconds to fill, and then whatever uploading time it is.
Okay. He wants me to tell a joke. My jokes are all longer than 9 seconds, and they're probably not fit for airtime at this time of the day.
Yeah. So the reason I'm looking to fill time there, everybody, is because you may remember that we did a live podcast, and we're going to end here on a kind of a happier note, I hope. We're going to be showing the live podcast on YouTube over the course of the next few days. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak preview as to what it looks like with one of the shorts that we had done up for this as well. I'm just hoping that it loads here and that we can actually add it to the stage and that it will play. So I don't know if you guys can hear that, but we had a great day out in Dublin at the Laughter Lounge, and the place was ram-jammed. Obviously the Brummies that are here, you're probably born into it, man. A big round of applause for those who have travelled today.
It's a fucking shithole.
I mean, well, yeah.
Robin Olsen, I thought it was Robin Olsen, Paddy. Did you not say that?
No, I don't know about it.
Wave it up for Domino! The wonderful Ian Taylor! So that's a little sneak preview. I don't know if you guys could see it or could hear it. That's a little sneak preview of what's to come. It's 3 parts. The actual, it was 2.5 hours of podcasting we did on stage in the sweatiest of days that you could ever imagine. And we will be releasing those this week, starting on Wednesday with our interview with Max and Simon from Villa on tour, then over the weekend with Adam Slack, and then into next week on the Monday or the Tuesday, we'll be releasing the one with Dan Bardell and Ian Taylor. And I hope you guys will enjoy those, because we certainly enjoyed making them, for sure. That's for sure. Right. Gonna leave it at that. Everybody, go in, enjoy your Sunday, and we'll see you guys over. We will obviously be back. I think Paddy. Well, I know Paddy and Stephen are doing the WSL weekly roundup, probably today or tomorrow after the game, and that will be up online. So please support that as well. Our women's team are looking to have a fantastic year this year, and it's about time we got our asses in gear here in this podcast and started showing them the support they deserve. And we will obviously be back into next week then with a preview of the West Ham game after we show all of the great time we had at the live podcast as well. So thanks very much, everybody, for today. Thanks a million. It wasn't to be, but a 1-1 draw is certainly nothing to be sniffed at. And Aston Villa go into the international break on a 4-match unbeaten streak in the Premier League. So with that, I suppose, everybody, thank you so much for all your time, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.